If your week looks amazing on Sunday, color-coded, meal prepped, workout scheduled, and by Wednesday you're already thinking, well, I guess I'll start again next week, this episode is for you. Not because you are inconsistent and not because you lack discipline, but because the system you're using was never built for your real life. And today I want to show you what actually works instead. So take a breath, let's talk. Welcome to the Muscles and Mindset Revolution podcast. This is for the woman who knows what to do but keeps falling off when life gets loud. You're smart, you're capable, you're not lazy, you're just tired of plans that only work when everything else is calm, predictable, and quiet. I'm Ann Jones, certified life coach and mentor, personal trainer, and someone who has spent the past 15 years in the fitness industry watching high-achieving women burn out trying to be consistent. This isn't a podcast about pushing harder. It's about staying with yourself when things get messy. Let's get into it. Here's what I see over and over again. Women plan their weeks like life is a closed system. Like you're going to have the same energy every day, the same sleep, the same motivation, the same hormones, the same emotional bandwidth, the same capacity. And then Wednesday hits and a kid gets sick. Work explodes. You sleep like trash. Your mood tanks for no obvious reason. Maybe it's a full moon. And instead of adjusting the plan, you abandon yourself. You don't just skip the workout, you disappear. You tell yourself, I'll restart on Monday. I blew it. I just need to be more disciplined. I just need to get my shit together. There's this moment that happens for so many high achieving women where Sunday you makes a plan for Monday you, and then Wednesday you is already bargaining. And I want you to hear this because one of my clients, Jenica, said something in a testimonial once that honestly made me laugh in that painful way where you're like, wait, that's literally it. She told me she used to have a lot of momentum at the start of the week. This is before we worked together. She said she was really good at having a lot of momentum at the start of the week. Like she'd do the grocery shop, the meal plan, the workouts, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the prep, and then Wednesday would hit and it was like her brain was like, okay, well, you did enough. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, nothing. No structure, no adherence, ordering takeout even when there's food at home, feeling chaotic and disorganized, not working out. And because she had fallen off on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday structure, she would do what so many women do. She would say, well, I will wait till Monday to restart. That loop is so common. The I can't make it past Tuesday or Wednesday loop. And I just want to say out loud, if you've lived that, like you're not doomed. I promise. Because I've been there in ways and like almost all of my clients started there before we worked together. You're living inside a system that's punishing real life, because most plans are built like you are a robot with consistent energy, predictable time, and no emotional load. And that's just not the case. And that's why you can crush it for a few days and then crash. It's not because you're lazy and you just like need to push through. It's because it's not the system for you, which is why I said on our group coaching call this past week, I'm going to say it again because I think it's one of the most important lines in this entire conversation is rigid structure assumes predictable energy, consistent schedules, and unlimited bandwidth. Most women over the age of 30, particularly the women who I work with, don't have those things. So when the structure breaks, you assume you are the problem. You're not. Rigid structure works great. If you're 22 or 25, you're sleeping 8-9 hours, you got no kids, no chronic stress, you're not taking care of parents, you have no hormonal shifts, you're not a shift worker, no cognitive load or very little. That's not most of you at this point. Most of you are managing careers, relationships, families, aging parents, your health, and your own nervous systems. And yet the advice is still just follow the plan. So here's a line that I want you to hear clearly. The structure shouldn't require you to reorganize your nervous system to maintain it. If your plan only works when you're calm, motivated, and uninterrupted, that's not a plan, it's a fantasy. So like I mentioned, this past week's group coaching call was about just this exact topic. Gentle structure, loving structure. And honestly, I wish every woman listening to this could have been in that Zoom room because there were just a few wins from clients that stopped me in my tracks. One of my clients shared that she can now get up off the floor without holding on to anything, which is like a huge mobility gains. It's not flashy. Can't really take a before and after photo of it, although you could take a video, but that's independence, longevity of life, aging with confidence. Those things are life-changing. Another client of mine talked about coming back to workouts after literally months off. She is a mom of 2 little ones. She works, she's single parenting a lot of the time, and coming back to workouts after months off without guilt, without punishment, with extreme self-respect. She didn't spiral. She didn't shame herself. She just returned, stepped back into it. And another client of mine, that's gentle structure in action. So here's the reframe that I would like you to hear. Rigid plan asks, did you do everything? Did you do everything? Gentle structure asks, did you stay with yourself? Regardless of what happened, did you stay with yourself? And staying with yourself means you don't disappear and abandon yourself the moment life gets hard or unpredictable. You don't go into all or nothing. You don't emotionally quit. You adjust without abandoning yourself. That's the skill. I want to talk about 2 tools that I use with clients and the subtle difference between them. One of them is the big 3. We use the big 3 with coaching clients, and I originally got the big 3 from the Full Focus Planner. So Full Focus, I believe it's created by the Hyatt family. I love their big 3, and so I started using it with clients and with my team. What are your big 3 this week? If nothing else happens today, this week, this month, what are the 3 things that you're going to commit to executing? And the other one is an anchor, which I got from James Clear. And let me simplify the difference. Your big 3 are specific actions, behaviors, things that you can tick that have usually somewhat of a location or timing. And they work best when your life or your week is relatively, if not calm, normal, or predictable. So you're looking ahead to your week and you're like, these are my big 3 for the week. You're looking ahead to your day. These are my big 3 for the day. And another thing that we'll do with clients is we'll often have a plan A, a plan B, and even a plan C. So here's the big 3. If X, then Y. If we don't have time to make whatever, we're going to eat whatever. So you can still achieve what you wanted to achieve. So for example, your big 3 might be 3 workouts, protein at breakfast every day or 5 days a week, in bed by 10:30 on weeknights. Very simple, very quantifiable. Here's the most important thing to know. Big 3s are forward momentum. Anchors are for when the plan breaks. Having this big 3 reduces decision fatigue. And I have to say, reducing decision fatigue and creating clarity is one of the greatest benefits of coaching, both I found as a coaching client and in using with my clients. My clients are high achieving, intelligent women. They are not reaching their goals due to lack of information. They are often not meeting their goals due to lack of clarity, direction, and decision fatigue. So to have a regulated person in your corner to be like, what are we doing today? We are like, this is the plan, stick to the plan. So when I say plan, yes, we are talking about a plan. It's not a rigid plan, but what are your big 3? What are the 3 things that we're going to hit? That's why I love the big 3. And sometimes, especially in the beginning of our journey, if a week blows up, those things, especially if they're for you, are sometimes the first things to go, right? And this is, of course, something that we coach clients to move away from abandoning those things and towards maintaining confidently those big 3. But life be lifing, and like those might be the thing that happens, right? Like I said, your kid gets sick, your sleep goes to shit, the workout might be the first thing to go. And if that big 3 is the only structure that you have and you don't have a plan B and it's not flexible, you may interpret that as a failure. So this is why anchors exist. So I love a big 3. I just explained the purpose of them. And if they're the only structure that you have and you're not hitting them, you may interpret it as failure. Doesn't mean I don't want you to do it anymore. But enter anchors. Anchors are more theme-based, identity-level non-negotiable. I have a love-hate relationship with the term non-negotiable because I do like the idea of having a pact with yourself. But in health, I think everything is negotiable for the reasons that I just mentioned and I'm about to mention, right? Like I'm not going to do a 10K run, even if I had it scheduled, if I didn't sleep, if I can get out of it, probably. Like if, I don't know, I feel like everything is negotiable and it should be based on day to day. If the big 3 are not happening, we're not getting them in, we can come back to our anchors, which are really connected to our why and our identity. So for example, I am someone who moves my body. That's who I am. I am someone who prioritizes nourishment. I'm someone who checks in with herself when she begins to feel emotionally dysregulated. So anchors don't care if it's Thursday or Saturday. They don't care if your plan, your perfect, beautiful, color-coded calendar broke down. They ask a different question. Not the did you do it plan, did you tick the box, but did I stay with myself? If I didn't complete any of these big three, did I stay with myself? Did I move my body in some way by walking around the block, by doing 7 minutes of yoga? Did I check in with myself emotionally, or did I abandon all my boundaries and values because things got a little chaotic? So it's more like, did I stay true to who I am? Like if your kid wakes up puking at 2 a.m. and you're up all night, your big three might not happen the next day, but your anchors still can. You can still step into being the type of person that you are moving towards. And of course, to be able to do that, you have to know what that is. So you have to do what I like to call your compelling vision, which I'm happy to share with you if you want to reach out. I'm actually including it in my upcoming course, which is coming out in the spring. But now let's talk about movement anchors. So this group coaching call that I did with the co-coaches on my team last week, Coach Taylor shared one of my favorite movement anchors on the call. And I love it because it breaks so many old rules. So one of her anchors is under 4 minutes. So if nothing else can be done, move for under 4 minutes, workout clothes or shoes still visible. And this anchor really matters. Stop equating time with worth. So it doesn't have to be duration. Can be 10 squats, like I said, 7 minutes of yoga, 1 song of dancing, a stretch on the living room floor. Those things count. Movement counts when you're a human and not a robot. You don't earn your identity through duration. And this is what teaches you to actually be more consistent and excited about your goals, is when you remain in that identity, when you stay anchored to those very simple things, whether it's under 4 minutes or 7 minutes of dancing or whatever, it's like you never stopped. You have the worst week and you come back to those anchors and it's not all or nothing anymore. It's not like you fell off because you stayed with yourself. Coach Natalie layered in nutrition anchors that actually work in real life. So it can be protein first awareness, right? Did I do my best? You're out, you're traveling, which honestly, there's protein everywhere. When you look, especially in airports, like it's really not that bad. But say your anchors are like protein first awareness, fiber when possible, no tracking. That's a goal for a lot of my clients. No punishment. And one of my favorites is Natalie's emergency protein kit. So yes, it's a real tangible thing, but having something in your car or your bag for low blood sugar moments, it's not like a thing you have to tick off like, oh, did I eat the emergency protein kit? It's like, I'm a person who has this anchor to come back to, even when it feels like life is lifing and there's nothing to hold on to. You don't need a perfect meal. You do need stabilization. And this is what builds self-trust and showing up for yourself. And that is where the real shift happens, because gentle structure isn't about doing less things or not achieving your lofty goals. It is about staying with yourself, even on tough weeks. And we get the best test of this. Our clients always crush during Christmas, but those are the weeks that really seem to test people. And every time you stay with yourself, your nervous system starts to learn safety. Oh, I don't disappear under pressure. I can do this. I trust myself. I trust myself to figure this out. That is self-trust. And that is identity stabilization. And that is what builds long-term calm and safety. It's a practice for sure. And that's what actually leads to consistency. Not white knuckling through it, not go hard or go home for a short period, not restarting constantly over and over and not proving anything. So if you are listening to this and thinking, I really need help choosing anchors that actually fit my life, I do actually have a few one-on-one coaching spots open right now, just for specifically this kind of coaching. This is the work I do best, helping women stop starting over and begin staying with themselves and trusting themselves. It's the work that I did and I know intimately. If that would feel supportive to you, please feel free to DM me on Instagram at AnnJonesFit, or you can email me at ann@annjones.ca and we can talk about next steps. I'm happy to help you identify your anchors or your big three. And if not, let this episode be enough for today. You don't need a better personality. You don't need more discipline. You need a structure that holds you when life doesn't. Remember, gentle structure asks, did I stay with myself? And that question changes everything. I'll talk to you soon.